guys. So welcome to Thursday's Math. We are in lesson 14. You're nearing the end. And today you're responsible for 14-5 and 14-6. And I don't think this will be too challenging for you because I think you're really getting this graph stuff. It's pretty fun, actually. And I heard Camilla really likes the line plots, so way to go, Camilla. Lesson 14-5 is drawing conclusions from graphs, and so you actually get to physically make the graph on 827. So if you don't have your math book and a pencil, go get it. 827. Lesson 14-5. It says, 7 students voted for turtle as their favorite pond animal. 10 students voted for frog. 4 students voted for fish. Make a picture graph to show the data and write 2 things you notice about the data. Okay, so also at the bottom, which I didn't notice until I looked very carefully, they tell you what you have to use for your picture. So if you look right underneath the favorite pond animals chart, you can see that each star is going to equal 1 vote. So you need to actually make stars for your pictures in this one. So next to the turtle, you should have turtle, 7 stars. So draw 7 stars next to where it says turtle. Next to frog, you should have 10 stars, and next to fish, you should have 4 stars. Then underneath, you'll notice there's a 1 and 2. And it says write 2 things that you notice about the data. So what could you write? Well, you could write the one that has the most or the one that has the least. That would be my suggestion because it's the easiest thing to get from your graph. So you could write next to number 1, frogs have the most votes out of all animals, and number 2, you could do fish have the least amount of votes out of all the animals. And that's just an easy way to draw data from your pictograph. Okay, so you're interpreting the rest of the way. So continue on in 14, do a few, don't do them all, have mom and dad check them. And then moving on to 14-6, which is called reasoning. And it's on page 833 in your book. It says, make a picture graph to show how many connecting cubes, counters, and ones cubes you have. Then write and solve a problem about your data. So they're using different they're using different things that you don't have right now to be able to do this work. However, if you skip that one, and if you go to the guided practice on page 834, it says use the bar graph to write and solve problems. So there's a purple bar graph there of, it looks like items that are in a closet. So we've got shorts and shirts and pants and skirts. And next to number 1, you have to write a possible question that you can come up with from using this graph. So what types of things could you add together or subtract to be able to get an equation? Because it looks like you need to write an equation at the bottom. How about something like, how many, if you look, it might even be dotted in for you, how many shirts and skirts are there in all? And then you have to read the graph appropriately to be able to get your answer. And you could write 10 plus 4 equals 14. Okay? Number 2, how many more pants than shorts are there? And this way you'll have to subtract. You start with the biggest number. 14 minus 6 equals 8. So there's a lot of information that you can pull from just this one picture graph, and that's what you're going to be doing for the remainder of that. Now, knowing that that isn't like a huge amount of work for you, you can also practice the orange game page, which is 839. And with this one, I don't think you need to have a partner, but you can if you want. Makes it more fun, I think, sometimes to work with a partner. And another way that you can be practicing your math, because like I said, this is kind of easy work for you, is to go back into the Google Classroom and do any of the Kahoots that you haven't. I loaded a few more because I realized that when I first uploaded them, they had date limits that you had to complete it by a certain date. So I've loaded a few more just this week, and also some boom cards that I'll be putting up there that are just practice for math facts. Okay? All right, keep on going. We're almost done.